Aloha, mud babies, pod people, and inhabitants of the planet Earth. It is I, your tiki leader, Steve Mudflap McGrew, here again in the beautiful, beautiful room here on the Royal Caribbean ship. I was able to bring the master comic in to have a chat tonight. He's given me this look like, why would you say master comic? Because he is a beast on stage. He's been a beast in real life. And he's given me the beast eye right now.
Yes. Clearly you're not talking about me, sir.
Yes, I am. Michael Pace, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
You know, we've had some great discussions this week, and I hope we can somehow get them on here.
I'm hoping that the 5 podcasts that we did just sitting around tables will somehow come together on this one.
I think maybe we should just turn the phone on wherever we are, because we solved a lot of problems in the world.
We did.
You know, I think maybe this should be our focus, and that is that what we agree on first, and then what we disagree on second.
Well,
and over the course of the past 4 days, we've kind of agreed on a lot of stuff I never thought we'd agree on.
Exactly. And because other people were like, you're working with Mike Pace. Oh, I'd like to be a fly on that wall.
Right.
You know.
And it's been respectful. And I would hope it would be let me see, how do we throw it out to the universe? That the rest of the world would be able to have these discussions?
That you could be able to be 2 people on different political sides and still have adult conversations and still go, I see your point.
I see your point. Well, I think what we said the other day was, I'm so far to the left, I'm almost conservative now.
Yes, that you've almost come back around.
I'm kind of old school conservative, not the, you know.
Well, here's what you are, and I thought about this, and I hope you don't take this wrong, and I know you won't.
All right.
You are what I was, and so many people were growing up. We are like the Colorado Cowboys, where you were a free thinker, but you liked the country, you shot guns, you fished, you might have smoked a little pot, you didn't have anything against anybody that did, and live your own life, I don't care.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. I like to shoot a gun, and I used to like to smoke more than I do now, and now I'm like, this pot's so goddamn strong now. It's a one-hit wonder. And then I sit catatonic for 8 hours. I like to fish. And, if you're doing do what you want. But once that you cross that line and it's my fucking problem, then we got a problem.
Right.
Basically.
And that's kind of where we found that common ground was like, we both like, yeah, I shoot, you shoot. And, but we shouldn't have any guns in America.
Well, you know, we agreed on this too. We agreed that, you know, everyone should have to take a safety course.
Right.
Everyone should have a cooling off period.
Right.
And everyone should be a responsible gun owner. Like, and I don't know, did we talk about 2-year mandatory service?
Yes, you did.
To your country?
Yeah, you said you told me that you would like to see, much like Israel, that you have to do 2 years of service to learn, like, so a little bit of how to survive and how to critical think.
How to clean and shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Some self-defense, some Krav Maga, how to act like a human being, saying yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, you're welcome, how to get the fuck out of each other's way.
And then that was the thing that you and I, like, really agreed on, was manners, and the lack of is one of the biggest problems in America today.
Right. I mean, you and I, if we could get paid to slap the piss out of fucking rude people,
we would be working.
Well, we'd be
24/7.
We'd have job security.
Yeah. Like I said the other night on stage, I go, for you people that just don't feel right about hitting your misbehaving child, hire me. I will take your cash and come over and discipline your child.
You know, and for $20, I bet they would love to see him get smacked upside the head.
They would. Grandma would give it. You know, their grandma would give you. Here, I'll give you $20 if you hit my daughter's kid.
There you go. I'm gonna hit my daughter while you're at it. I never liked that bitch either.
But though I think there's a lot more.
So we agree. We kind of. I think we agree on guns. I don't. You know. I don't think the loopholes at gun shows and to be able to get them online and that. I don't know. That's a good idea.
Well, here's a deal. I bought. This is America. I'm flying. Get Wi-Fi on the airplane. Mm-hmm. I'm going through my email, and there's a thing from the gun store that says the shotgun that I've been wanting was on sale. I got an email.
Right.
So I clicked over to the website. I bought the shotgun at 30,000 feet in the air, but I had to pick it up at the store, and I had to go through...
Sign through all the shit.
I had to sign through all the stuff. I had to go through, are you a legal citizen? Yes. Have you ever been connected? You know, I had to be treated just like you would, you know, but I was still able at 30,000 feet to go purchase.
Yeah, so you're
not
not
allowed to take possession of it till I passed everything.
Yeah, so you're not saying, well, you know, criminals could get guns whenever they want. Yeah, well, we should at least try. At least try to have some sort of rules, you know, so that, I mean, it's easy to get a gun. I mean, I can get an illegal gun easy, so can you. Mm-hmm. Anybody can. Yeah, and that's what everybody's argument is. You know, the gun laws are used typically for the law-abiding citizens. Sure.
You know, and that's the other argument that people are like, the NRA, they're murderers. The NRA, not one NRA member is one of those people.
Well, I heard there's a lot of people walking away from the NRA because they are getting a little bit extreme now.
Well, they're getting where they're fighting harder, and the reason they're fighting harder is because I'm a member. Mm-hmm. Is that once you go down that give an inch, they take a mile thing.
Right, yeah.
That's what it is. It's like, well, we need to outlaw. No, because this is how it works. You guys don't stop. You know what I mean? Well, if you say I can't have a clip, then, you know.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't. I don't, you know, I mean, all these automatic weapons, if you're a gun enthusiast, you're going to have it. And if you're a whack job, you're going to be able to get one. So, you know, I don't really know what the answer is to that. I mean, I shot an AR-15 the other day and loved it. And I've been over the Middle East and shot, you know, Uzis and the whole 9 yards and loved it. But there should be, like, this whole mental illness test should be right up there, along with parenting. There should be a freaking test.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's something nobody ever thinks of either is, we think nothing of a 6,000-pound vehicle come barreling down the fucking road. And have you watched Springer or some of those shows? You know, those are weapons.
Yeah.
And I think there should be a little more scrutiny when it comes to driving, too.
But it's kind of like when you see the terrorist attacks like in France and stuff, or England, where they've just driven the car and taken out people. But nobody goes, we need to ban automobiles.
Right. Well, let's not forget Charlottesville.
Right. There's another one.
Right.
We need to ban automobiles.
Right. Well, it's kind of like there's some disconnects right here, like right now, like the fires that are going on in California, and Trump's like, well, they need to be out there and sorting it. You can't rake a whole forest. I mean, unless you're willing to put those people to work, you can't really rake the whole freaking forest.
True.
There's always going to be timber. There's always going to be leaves.
True, but it got bad. It got worse. There was a thing today. I don't know if you've seen it. There was a thing today that the Loggers Association actually agreed with Trump that there should have been better forest management, and that's been part of the problem for other fires.
Yeah, well, you can't constantly take money away from the forest people and then expect them to be able to do all that stuff.
Right.
Either.
That's why we have to get rid of other programs that are like, you live in California, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember when I lived out there, there's like 17 programs that do almost exactly the same things. Mm-hmm. You know, like once a program gets started, they never stop it. You know what I mean? It's like there's all these, they overlap. Like you get free groceries, but this program gives you free groceries, but they drive them to your house. And this is the, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, you could say the same thing with the Department of Defense as well. I mean, once somebody starts making a weapon, they'll keep making it even if it's obsolete, and that's billions and billions of dollars, And you know me, I'm a pro-troop guy. But
I know.
I'm not like...
yeah. I do know. That's
because I've been over to like Missoula, and you're coming down in a Blackhawk, and for miles and miles and miles, you can see, other helicopters and tanks and C-130s that are just sitting there and rusting. You're like, what? Yeah, man. Like they waste a lot of money here.
They just leave them, like they break down, leave them, or get blown up.
Cheaper than trying to bring them back. With gas and transport and all that. But you're like, you guys over. It's like those old used car commercials. We have so many new products. We need to make room for the 2019s. Yeah. Come on down and we'll put you in one ASAP.
We'll get you in a Humvee in a matter of days.
And so we agree with that. So let's go to the next thing we agree upon. The credit card.
Yes.
The fact that you don't have to wait for anything anymore. When we were kids, we had paper.
That's right. We were talking about that the other day.
And lawn services, and you didn't just have a bike. You worked all summer to get a bike, to do your paper out, to drag your lawnmower around, and you probably bought another lawnmower once you had enough money because your dad's piece of shit lawnmower.
Didn't want you. Well, don't tear mine up with your little lawn business.
Well, it wasn't even that. He had the shittiest lawnmower. My dad had the one where the rope.
Uh-huh.
You
actually had to.
You pulled it once and that was it.
Get wrap it around again. Pull it.
That was it. So if you were cutting high grass, you're spending another 2 hours trying to get it started.
Yeah, but you wanted to save up and buy one of those that you squeezed the handle and it moved forward by itself.
Some kind of little bit of something,
Well, I remember the first lawnmower that I used as a kid was that one like you used to see on like the old Dennis the Menace that was no engine, just...
Oh, the little...
you just pushed
the rotating blade one? Yeah, I remember that. Sometimes... Well, I miss a lawn. I still miss a lawn. I miss having a backyard and mowing the yard and sitting out there and having a iced tea and listening to the game and going, this is my land.
And smelling the fresh grass and the earth.
I miss all that,
Yeah, I remember the first time that my mom, because I had an older brother, my mom would say, or, it was my dad actually, like, you're old enough to cut the grass. You get to cut the grass. Right. I get to. Like, it's something I was looking forward to.
Well, I remember when you were little, you had that little plastic lawnmower.
You'd be out there with your
dad, and then the day came when he's like, all right, it's time to cut the lawn. You're like, damn it, I don't want to cut the lawn. You've been following me around for 5 years with the plastic one.
Well, here's what you do then, is you take the lawnmower and you cut your name into the front yard.
Like a dumbass.
And then go, get away from that. Don't you ever touch that again.
Right. I always feign incompetence so that he would do it.
Don't want me to do it again.
Right, yeah. But I mean, it was a different world. We played wiffle ball 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And there was always a little section between each neighborhood where it was like the woods, and you'd go down there and you'd build a fort, and there'd be territory.
You'd have candles and stuff.
And you'd hang out there as long. You'd say you were staying at other kids' house, so you could stay out there.
Yeah. And
then eventually the bigger kids would come and beat your ass and take over the fort, so you'd have to go build another one somewhere else.
So you built forts too?
Oh, tons of them.
Now, this is how we built our fort. We dug it out. We dug a hole and put plywood over the top of it.
Always.
And then put the dirt back on top.
Right.
And then it had an entrance where you could go down into the hole. But where some guys would build the fort on top of the ground.
No, it's too obvious.
Yeah. We had it the underground. We'd dig out holes in the walls where you could put candles, in the wall. And the place would be like lit.
Right. And then you'd have like as many Playboys or whatever as you could have stolen from the convenience store. Well, it wasn't a convenience store. It was a store.
Yeah. But wasn't it odd? Didn't you always find it odd that you used to just randomly find porn? Yeah. Just randomly. You'd be walking and there's a magazine in a ditch. Or you'd be walking in the woods and about in the middle of nowhere there'd just be like half a magazine.
I remember we were up in Tahoe. This is maybe 10 years ago. Right? We're walking up to this beautiful hidden lake, maybe is the name of it. I'm not sure, but it mirrors the hill behind it. And it was kind of a trek, but we're walking along and there's this big old hefty bag, and it'd been ripped open, and there were dildos and porn movies and lubes and lotions and butt plugs and all kinds of shit. And I guess this person, I imagine it was a man, decided, I'm tired of living in my mom's basement. Time for me to go out and get the real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was such a porn addict, he had to take it up to the woods to get rid of it.
Either that, or he had one of this wife that, this shit has got to go.
Right.
And she's throwing it all in the bag, and you are out of here.
Well, maybe if you'd use some of this shit, I wouldn't have to go to the woods all the time.
You would.
Why don't you take one of these, just shove up my keister for a change?
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I sure as hell would.
I am not gonna... So how far out in the woods was this? Was it right off the...
I think I walked about 20 miles.
Was it like way out in the woods? Or?
I think I slept about 20 miles to get rid of that shit. No, I'm just kidding.
To get it back, you were like, at 20 miles to get it back.
It was just a little bit off. Like I went off the trail to pee, and it was like, there it was. Yeah. Type thing. And then I'm like, hey, everybody come here and look at it. And I'm like, you're kind of like, yeah, it looks like... Kira was like, yeah. I'd like to see that movie.
Yeah. Well, this is sort of a weird thing to go down, and I know my wife will like, why did y'all even talk about that? Don't you think that, remember the old days of porn when you'd find it? It was just nasty. It was nasty. Yeah. Girls were ugly. It was nasty looking. It was shot nasty. And
they had a fucking shrub. And
now it's like the girls are glamorous and it's beautiful. The lighting is perfect. So what happened? It used to be I could understand that ugly people wanted love and attention, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, this is the only way I can get a man to look at me.
Right.
And now they're like these, like, I couldn't make it in Hollywood, but I'll be a porn actress. So what happened? What happened in their life?
The difference nowadays is the ones that are ugly, like you're describing.
Yeah.
They don't know they're ugly. Right? Everybody thinks they got it going on now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I'm working it.
Look at my Instagram. I got 150 followers.
Right. But I think my thing is I don't like this. Well, we have different tastes in women, but I don't like the slick porn. I don't like the pros. I want something a little bit like
you want a bruise.
Yeah, I want a sock. Yeah, and a scar. I want a soccer mom, or little chubby, making a damn freaking lasagna. Everything's all hell breaks loose right there in the kitchen type situation.
Porn to you would be like a naked woman in a trailer leaning over, sweeping up some broken beer bottle.
Oh, no, God damn it. I'll be right back. Yes, that's a good start for the porn. At least she's cleaning. That was the other thing we were talking about. We agree on women's equal rights, right?
Right.
Equal pay, equal blah, blah, blah.
I believe equal pay.
Yeah, but she better have my damn dinner on the table when I get home. That's all I got to say. And do not eyeball with that fish eye.
You can have a good job. You better make $1 for $1.
Right.
But you better make a dinner at $5.
Right. And you better bring it home.
Now the people go, neither one of those guys sound liberal.
Right. That goddamn shake and bake is good. I don't give a shit. Remember shake and...
I love shake and... We eat it now.
Shake and bake pork chops?
My wife makes shake and bake pork chops, and it's so good.
I freaking love it.
With
ketchup?
Oh,
Lord.
With ketchup fries? With those little skinny ketchup-flavored fries?
Oh. I haven't had those.
You haven't had those? Check them out.
I used to... The other night, Oneida.
Oh, yeah.
You kept calling her Orida.
Orida.
I miss those crinkly fries. Remember those?
I do.
I don't know why they started fucking with fries. Remember when fries were just fries and there wasn't no coating on them and they were just...
You just cut a potato.
Yeah, and it got a little crunch on it because you're using animal fat.
Right. A good fry should be a little crust and soft in the middle, in the very middle, not fried all the way through.
Right.
And I think you only get that a lot of times when you have a bigger fry.
So you're from Oklahoma, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to describe the best breakfast of all time.
Okay.
All right. And I'll probably be missing grits because I was never a grits guy.
Yeah, I was not a grits guy either.
But it's bacon. Mm-hmm. It's fried eggs basted in the grease from the bacon.
Uh-huh.
It's white toast.
Yes.
Preferably with way too much fucking butter on it.
Right. You actually put it in the butter before you throw it in there.
It's apple butter. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, how many toasters did you go through as a kid?
Oh, we went through a lot.
Putting the butter and then dropping it back in there so you could throw sugar on it so that it had like a pile of freaking butter, like a puddle.
Yeah.
And it would absorb all the sugar.
We had one of those, the ovens, the toaster ovens, where you could slide it out and then you could sprinkle your toast and slide it back in.
We'd have like freaking toaster fires. There'd be so much butter.
Have you ever opened the bottom of a toaster?
Oh, it's nasty as hell.
When you open that little latch and just falls out.
Right. It's like opening a freaking differential. Right in the back. And then
this is why it ain't popping up no more.
And then if preferably you'd have some sausage too. Link sausage.
But now
burnt.
Now it has to be turkey. It has to be turkey
it's
sausage.
Turkey sausage. And then
it's free range turkey.
Someone would make biscuits and gravy out of that. The grease.
Mm-hmm. Did your mom keep the bacon grease can?
Always.
Just a can, like the grease was poured into a can.
Well, because if she had like green beans and on Wednesday, she'd throw that grease in with it. Some flavor. Yeah.
And that grease would just sit there. It wasn't refrigerated.
No. It didn't matter. It was probably heated up and cooled down about 40 times too because it sat on the.
And neither one of us had peanut allergies.
No, none of us were sick ever.
No.
My go-to drink of choice was whole milk. I'd come in if I was thirsty and I'd guzzle out of the freaking gallon and guzzle that. And you were talking about Tang. And Kool-Aid and instant. It was always sweet tea. It was never like
it was sweet tea, like made with like cups of sugar.
It was like that. What was that movie? It was a black movie about I don't know. And what was his name? Ralph Harrison. Do you remember him? Old black comic, and they're making Kool-Aid, and they got like one of those 5-pound things of sugar, and they're pouring it in the Kool-Aid, and he goes, "Damn it, girl, that's too much sugar." He goes, it's just getting good. So
my favorite Kool-Aid flavor is red.
Yeah, our Gatorade. It's orange. Or red. I can't.
Those I don't know. I don't even care what flavors it is. It could be strawberry or cherry or something watermelon. But
the color,
I like the color red.
The color. I'm familiar with the color. You go into lime area, it's not good for me.
Yeah, because I don't know what lime. What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Does that have glutamine in or something in it?
I remember my brother he revolutionized breakfast when he took. He made butter toast, and it was supposed to be cinnamon toast. But, like, after a while, you're like, well, fuck the cinnamon. We just want the sugar on it. But one morning, he got out the garlic salt and put it on there. And we had, like, what we called ghetto garlic bread. And that went pretty strong for about a year.
And you made it a lot often?
Oh, yeah. Till it, we were sick of it. You know how you did that when you were a kid? You eat something until you were... All right, what about this? Bub's Daddies. You remember those?
No, I don't remember that.
They were long, about a foot long, and they were bubble gum, dry bubble gum, and it was about this thick, and you pull off a piece and chew it up and
bite a chunk off of it.
Yeah, and then we'd always have Bub's Daddies competition to see who could put
the most
in their mouth, and then eventually one guy would have like 5 of them in there, and he couldn't chew or do anything or breathe. He was just crying, so you'd have to get in there and reach in there and pull it back out.
That's like that marshmallow thing of what do they call it, chubby bunny or whatever it is, where you're supposed to just shove as many marshmallows in your mouth. And then people have been like choking because they can't swallow, can't breathe.
Now there's another thing. There's 2 things that I can't eat ever again. Well, 3 things, but one is Reese's peanut butter cups, because when they first came out, I ate so freaking many of those things. They disgust me to this day. Marshmallows. I can't eat marshmallows anymore because we made too many s'mores, too many days in a row. And now I just eat the graham cracker and the chocolate, right? And, I just found out I'm allergic to crab. and lobster and shellfish.
You
So,
just found this out?
yeah, I guess when you get older, you develop allergies you never had before.
Oh, well, I hope I don't. That's
No,
one of my
I mean,
favorite.
dude,
That's one of my favorite things. Who was it? Who was I talking to? Oh, it was the MC at our show was talking about the. He's a big fan of lobster bisque, and I said, "Oh, me too. It's one of my favorite." I mean,
No, I love the taste of it. But
lobster bisque, and if he goes, "Oh, did you have it on Oasis?" You'll find you'll go. There's big chunks of lobster in the. Yeah, that's a good
I
bisque.
found that out in Alaska too. I was at I do a bit on it. It's Tracy's Crab Shack, right in Juneau, and like they actually,
Just pulled out of the basket and cooked.
deadliest catch right there. That's where they drop everything off. And I was squirting and puking and swelling up, and I had to show that. And this is back on Celebrity. And then I went back into town, and all the crew's hanging out. And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they're, I have my fake beer, and everybody's sitting there, and I dip a chip in this artichoke dip, and I ate it, and they go, "Oh, there's crab in that." And I'm like, all over again, back to the toilet.
So it just out of nowhere, this allergy has hit you.
Yeah.
Have you been tested to see if there's something going on? Have you done like an allergy? Maybe it's a combination of.
Now you remember crawdads?
Oh yeah, I love crawfish. You catch crawfish in the ditch.
We used to get crawdads and then boil them, and I remember getting very sick as a kid on that a few times. So maybe it's been common.
Just slowly building up.
Like the iodine or something, whatever's in it.
I had my first. I'm about delicious right there out of the water. I had my very first lobster roll in Maine this year.
I remember being there, and I had a lobster
at Bar Harbor.
Delicious.
I'd never had one before.
Right.
I'd heard about them. And I always thought lobster rolls were like an egg roll with lobster. I'm showing my ignorance, and I don't care. But no, it's a beautiful bun with lobster meat.
It's like tuna salad, only with lobster.
Yes,
basically.
And big chunks of lobster. Big chunks.
Yeah.
So I had my first one, and I fell in love.
You overdid it.
Well, I did, because I started trying them at different places. I wonder if theirs is as good as this one. Because the first one I had was at this little kiosk. It was a tugboat. It looked like a tugboat, and it was, voted best lobster roll, and,
Of course. I don't think anybody ever scrutinizes those
best of. Voted best of.
Right.
Yeah. So I ate like 4 or 5 of them, like within a few days.
So you ruined it.
And I kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly getting back into, I want to try that again, because now that how you become aware of something now, and you're like, I didn't know I could get this at the Perfect Landing restaurant in Denver.
Right.
So now I want to try their lobster, which I doubt the ones that aren't in Maine are going to be outstanding.
Well, here's something that's weird. Like, if you talk about generational stuff, like, who would ever thought that, like, chefs would be rock stars like they are now? Or, you know what I mean? Like, they're considered,
Yeah.
They're making billions of dollars.
I think we had one. We had Julia Childs.
That was it.
But
she was kind of a mess, and that was okay.
Yeah, we're making the
isn't it nice?
Isn't it lovely? Oh, when it massaged.
But I loved her.
Yeah. But she was the only one I can think of as a kid.
Now, there's a good show on Netflix called Chef's Table, and what they do is they do a background of how the person got into it and blah, 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 and this love that they have for the food and the love they have for the people that eat their food. And I think it's, whether as much as we bitch about comedy, to make people laugh is like to have a good steak.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It makes us feel good. It makes them feel good.
And it's not to be discounted either. I think we take it for granted because we've been doing it so long and it comes so easily to us. But, when we did, Scott Kennedy and I did 9/11 in Vegas, and then we went over to do all the tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. And sometimes on the ship, you'll meet people and they're going through a hard time, and they're just like, I really needed that. And I don't think a lot of us take it as serious as we probably should. Although, we just did 423 shows, so we're a little burned out.
And 8 more to go.
Right, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's something to, and the fact that, we're not where we'd probably want to be career-wise, but at the same time, we haven't had to put lug nuts at the Chrysler plant.
I'm not in a pit at the Grease Monkey.
Right. I'm not at Jiffy Lube or.
Not that that's a bad job. No. I'm not trying to say that. Because what are you trying to talk down to the working man? No.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that this country has a problem with showing respect to everyone. And everyone deserves respect.
Everybody.
And whether it's the guy that cleans our room or the guy that gets the garbage or, the teacher or whoever, everyone deserves respect. And I think it's, it's hard for me at times to not snap and choke people when I see them being disrespectful to anyone.
Well, like my dad used to say, a college isn't for everybody. And if you're going to be a ditch digger, be the best.
Right. Take pride in what you do.
Be proud, because some people can't do that. Some people don't even know. Some people would mess up a ditch.
Well, which is kind of the problem with comedy in America. I know in other, like England and that, they hold it in high regard. Comedian is an artist and blah, blah, blah. Whereas in America, they're like, yeah, my cousin, he does an open mic night, and you know what I mean?
He's a comic.
Like everybody thinks they can do it, which is the problem with YouTube. It's the problem with all this stuff now. Yeah, I guess you could do it, but can you do it good?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when people go, it was kind of a shitty movie. I go, like, yeah, but how many movies have you made? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the same with music. You're like, well, it's not as good as their last album. Well, they've made an album.
Did you make an album?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it you that was saying, though, that the day we were talking about music today, and you really said, I think it's over and done? Like,
I think, well, there's a lot
of... Like we've gone past good music, and now we're just having Velveeta music, sort of?
Right. It's...
How did you word that?
There's still some great people out there, but it's not like it used to be. You used to go see Led Zeppelin at an arena, 30,000 seats, maybe 20,000 seats, a stadium or whatever. But you can't make a business out of it anymore. We had a limited amount of people. I always say this about Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson came on after the news. There were 5 channels. Everybody just watched that news, and he could do his monologue without explaining everything.
Yeah, because the news was just on.
Right into the joke.
Somebody was just, do you see today in the news? You're like, I just saw it.
Right. Now, with net, there's really no connection. I mean, I think Johnny Carson was a catalyst for America for a long time because it was something, and how many of us were conceived during the monologue, but it was something that everybody was doing at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's why you could become a star.
Right.
You could do the Tonight Show one time, and the majority of Americans saw it.
And I'll say that there's never going to be another Michael Jackson or an Elvis Presley or a Madonna or the Beatles or, pick any huge Hank Williams Jr. or whoever.
Yeah, they did their thing. They did their thing,
but nobody's watching the same thing at the same time anymore. Your son, 90% of the people don't know CBS was a big deal at one point, or NBC or ABC.
Right.
They don't know and they don't care.
Yeah.
They're watching YouTube. They're playing video games. They're watching Netflix. There's too much going on.
Well, it's funny you said that because I was talking to an older couple here on the ship one time, and we're talking about relationships, and this woman goes, I think the problem today is there's just too much to disagree on. Because the old days you had 3 TV channels and that's what you had to choose from. When you got 500 things to choose from, you're going to go, I don't like that. I don't like that either. I don't want to watch that. She was just saying how there's just too much.
Well, we said
the same thing argue about.
We said the same thing about Facebook or Twitter or YouPorn. Like even when you're looking at a porn, you're looking for a better porn while you're doing that. Like
it always goes back to porn with you.
No, but you know what what I'm saying, and you agree with me earlier, was like you're always looking for something better.
Yeah, like if you're watching a show on Netflix, you're thinking there's probably a better show.
Right. So if you're
this is good, but I bet.
So if you're on Facebook and somebody just happens to like Francine McDougal likes something and you go, oh, who's she? She's never been on my feed before. So you go look up Francine McDougal and you're like, oh, she's cute. Who's she about? So you go into about, and then you go into, oh, that must be your boyfriend. And you look at some pictures and you're like, you're always shopping.
You're always going down some rabbit hole.
Right. And you're like, what am I doing now? What am I doing? And the people that say they don't do that are fucking liars because everybody does it.
I don't do it.
I know because she might hear it.
No, I don't know. I'm saying I don't do it because I actually am happy. I mean, I think a lot of people do that. I agree with you. And I think when you're single and you're not sure what you want or you're not positive of what you want, or you're just not generally happy. I mean, I think people do that with cars. You know, you're like, I just bought a new car, but man, the new BMW looks good. I wish I'd have held out for that one.
I have a great story about that, and not to compare women with cars, but the metaphor is the same. Up the street from my old house that I gave to my ex-wife, is a car wash. And about a half mile up the street are 6 or 8 dealerships. So they come there to clean.
They bring the new ones over.
To bring the used ones and the new ones that are just about to be delivered and all that. So they bring, this guy's sitting there and it's kind of a wealthy area where I live, Carlsbad and Del Mar and La Costa. And there's people with too much money, you know. And this guy goes, yeah, I just bought this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they're bringing it through and he's getting excited. It's being delivered like he's going to get in it and drive away for the first time. And there's this BMW that comes through and he goes, and they had just detailed it. The dealership detailed it. And then he goes, oh, I used to have a BMW just like that, man. Oh, that one looks good. It's in good shape, blah, blah. Not realizing that it took him a few minutes. He goes, hey, wait a minute, that's my BMW.
Wait, but tell my old.
Right. He goes, wait a minute, that's my BMW. Which is to say that maybe you should take the time to detail and shine up and buff up and put the effort into
whatever you have.
No
matter what it is.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's very, don't think I'm just getting rid of this guy because, like that, like so much of Oprah and those shows have been like, if you're not happy, kick him to the curb. You know what I mean? Life's too short.
Well, I think
maybe you should just be honest with your husband or go, man, maybe we should go work out together.
If people would talk to each other honestly, honesty and truth are like the scourge nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's honest with fucking anybody.
Yeah.
So if you were able to go, honey, I love you. I love your tummy. You're beautiful. I'm just worried about our health. Let's start walking on the beach together.
What are you saying? You're not happy with me?
Right. If you could avoid that drama and imagine the quality time you would have together walking on the beach and be getting
enjoying the
same
nature
time.
and exercise.
No TV, no phone on.
No social media.
Right.
Which let me ask you about this, because I posted this earlier today. I put a poll up. Do you think, you may not have seen this, do you think social media has made the world better or worse?
I don't think it's good for relationships at all. I think I've connected with maybe a handful of people that I was glad to finally see after so many years, and probably 50 people I never wanted to see again that suddenly creeped him up to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but what about the ability to be able to just argue? You know what I mean? Like everybody now.
No, I'm exhausted. I've done what everybody else has done, and I've blocked the people that I disagree with, and I've, which is stupid because we have found out this week that there is a civil way to do this, and you weren't pushing my buttons, I wasn't pushing your buttons, and we backed off at the right times and said, okay, that's cool. But, yeah, the arguing's crazy. And after a while, I would like to get it out of my life, to be honest with you. I mean, I've gotten over Coke and alcohol. Facebook would be the next thing for me.
Facebook would be?
Yeah, I think I would be much happier. If I could trade, like, a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
one for another, something else.
Yeah, you know, like a trait.
I'll give up Facebook if I can have...
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I would give up Facebook if I could have real quality conversations with 5 of the most important people in my life.
And who would those 5 people be?
My sister, my brother, my sons, my daughter, my ex-wife. Not because I want to get back together with my ex-wife, but because we were together for 27 years, and I would think it's important that we have some closure on. I don't want to argue with her. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I just want it would be kind of like, I just wanted to let you know that I'm here. If you get in a jam, you know, that's about it.
Right.
You do what you want with your life. And
like I told you earlier, most people are shocked that my ex-wife, my son's mom, that we actually get along. That
and I told you that I see that a lot on the ships. You're like, there's 2 families there. It's the husband and the wife, and the best friend of the husband and the wife, and they're vacationing together.
Yeah, the ex-wife,
the ex, and the ex, and the ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the combined families, and you're like...
Well, I had read an article one time years ago that said most exes would get along with each other because obviously there's a connection if they connected to you. Like, if you know what I mean? If they liked you, they probably like some of the same things.
Right.
So if they actually talked to each other, it'd be like, oh, I like that movie too. Oh, that's the kind of food that I like. See, there's more connecting you than you just...
Exactly.
I hate him. I hate him too.
There was a guy, he used to run a club in Chicago, and him and his wife got divorced, and then they got on like Match.com or whatever, you know, whatever, AOL dating back in the day. And they both came up on each other's profile. And I was always like, oh, well, you guys, if someone would have told you could have been in love forever, maybe that would have helped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If you like pina coladas.
Right. But I don't expect to get along with anyone forever. I'm a very blunt person. I'll go, I don't like that, and I don't want to do that. And I would like to live with someone that can do that too.
Just
do you know what I mean?
I don't want to do it.
And they have to be a female. The only people I've ever met that can do that are men.
Right. But I don't like that. I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it, and I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to be just content. You go ahead and you go out and do it, and you have a good time.
It's very much like the Waltons. Have you ever watched the Waltons?
Not in a while.
Yeah, but remember they go, why won't you go to church with me? I ain't going to church. You know? The dad would be at home. You know, it's that kind of, there was this attitude. I ain't doing it. Why don't you come to the meeting with I ain't going to the meeting. I ain't doing that. Right. You know?
And I think some people have to join things a lot. And, I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have no problem saying, no, I'm not going to be able to make it. I don't like lying. Because lying is, labor.
You gotta keep track of it.
It's labor intensive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It means I have to go. I have to act like I'm a good time.
Yeah.
I got to get dressed up. I got to smile and shake hands with people I don't really give a shit.
Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come.
Right. And I can live in that world. That's a world that I can live in. And it's very hard to find because, and I'm not going to generalize, but it seems most of the women I've encountered are very passive aggressive and talk in circles. Like the last girl that I was living with was like, wow, it'd sure be nice that light wasn't on. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
That means get up and go turn off the light.
It's like, why can't you just say turn off the light? Or we'd be driving. She goes, do you like this music? I go, no, I play a lot of music just to irritate the fuck out of myself. Like, what? Do you want me to change?
Do you want to change it? Did you want to reach over and change it?
I don't understand why that is such a problem. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want me to tell you the truth? And they don't.
No, yeah.
Do you like this dress?
No.
It does.
What?
It's not age appropriate. It doesn't enhance your better parts.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's too high on your waist. It doesn't give you a figure.
Right. But God, if you do that, you're fucked for days, weeks, you know?
Well, Dr. Laura had said years ago, and I used to listen to Dr. Laura a lot. I loved her. Explains a lot. But she had said that one of the reasons that therapy wasn't working anymore, or like it used to, is because people don't want to be told the truth.
Right.
Like if you went to a therapist, couples therapy, and they go, "No, lady, he's right. You're the bitch.
Well, because
we're not coming back to her."
Well, of course, because she's cocooned this situation so that no one can actually peer into it and analyze it and then go, "This is what you should do." They don't want that.
Right.
Like I went to a psychologist the other day and I said, "Well, you know," he goes, "Well, are your kids giving you anything back?" You know, he goes, it seems like you worry a lot about your kids and you want to be with them and blah, 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 but do they give you anything back? And I'm like, no, not really. Like, so why the fuck do you want to be with them? Your ex, why, you know, is she going to give you anything back that might be useful? I go, probably not. And he goes, then why the fuck do you care?
She still cared. Do you care if y'all talk or not? You know?
Right.
Be glad it's out of the orbit, you know?
Right. And I'm like, I just feel like I've invested all this. It's be like, to me, it's kind of like quitting law school in the last week. You know, I've invested all this time. I've tried to be a good person. I've tried to do all this stuff. I want some closure. I want some redemption. And it doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. Yeah. You know, and I'm going to have to live with that, I guess. Yeah. You know.
Well, my son and I get along great. We really do get along really good. And but I realized that I don't talk to him near as much as people think I should. Like my wife will go, "Have you talked to your son this week?" No, I don't think I have. When was the last time I talked to him? Oh, maybe a couple weeks ago. And
yeah, but who's throwing that guilt on you? The boy has your number.
Yeah, but that's what I realize is very cats in the cradle thing. Because I was the same way with my parents. Sure. Like if I talk to them once a month, they know I love them. You know, I've got nothing really to say when I go, "What'd you do this week?" Same thing I did last week.
Right.
You know, I don't want to. And I'm one of those guys. I don't know how you are. I hate repeating myself. I grew up around a lot of people that told the same stories over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? And so you just
remember that time old Gus and he got up on the truck and
remember that?
And he bought a dumbass.
Yeah, and then next year at the party, the same other person tells the same, you know, right. "Dan, remember that time we were out together? I do remember that. I told that last Christmas." Right. And we were, you know, like, yeah. So I kind of got where I don't talk because I don't want to repeat myself.
Which is the same thing, which is the same reason that I don't think either one of us, I mean, I don't know, to go to the same office every day would drive us nuts. Because you have to hear those stories over and over again. You have to hear the fucking, did you fill out the TPS reports and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's not a place that I want to be. There's something about being like the Midwest that I like, and I like the Midwest because the people might tell that story. I don't want to hear it every year, but I might want to hear it every 10 years.
Remind me, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when we were about 20, I think it was about 20 years ago.
I don't mind reminiscing every decade.
Yeah.
Or every 5 years or something like that. That's kind of fun, but not every day or every year. Yeah. Well, we were talking about, what were we talking about last night? We were talking about drugs and food.
Uh-huh.
And how we both cleaned up our act, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, not to
food is my new addiction.
Yeah, like not to look at us, but we're way better off than we used to.
We used to be.
And we were talking about nobody can say you're fat. you can't slap a cheeseburger out of somebody's hands as easy as you can.
Yeah, I would say if somebody was about to put a gun in their mouth, if you saw them raising a gun to their mouth, you would try to slap that gun out of their hand.
Right, and then I said, well, it was kind of like when Michelle Obama tried to get everybody to eat right, and everybody's like, I'm going to eat a damn Twinkie. She ain't going to tell me.
I'll deep fry that bitch. She ain't tell me what to eat.
And that surprised me that you agreed with me on that from that, but it was like, it's listen here, I don't know how you impose this. There's no way to do it, as a libertarian or whatever.
Whatever you are.
Or whatever, whoever. You can't dictate what people do with their lives, but there's some people that need, which is exactly why I think the 2-year mandatory service and boot camp would be like, hey, you're taking a wrong direction here. It's like I told you about the comedian friend of mine at 350 pounds. And I said, hey, man, you maybe should cut back on the eating. He's like, orders a bunch of toast because he's like, you ain't going to tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Is this the same one that said, can you get me a job on the ship?
Right. You can't walk.
You can't walk from one end of the ship to the other.
Right. And it was just this sort of alcoholic defiance that hadn't gone away from him even after 35 years of sobriety.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it eventually killed him. So you're like, well, I don't want what you got.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be an example of what I should get.
Yeah. And along the same line, this is the same thing that I think when you start glorifying things that aren't good
for you,
and this isn't to slam anybody. I'm not trying to slam people. It's just, but when you start saying, when you're 600 pounds and you're calling yourself a big, beautiful woman, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a BBW.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
I'm a model.
I'm working it.
I'm working it. But that's not healthy. And they'll go, no, I'm fine. No, it's not healthy. It's diabetes. It's heart disease. But no, you can't tell me because I know my man likes me like maybe really, I mean, I don't, and this isn't, like I said, not to slam. I just think people have gotten wrong mindsets now. We've been lied to by, a doctor that says,
Well, there's an acceptance now of it because you can't say you're fat. You're fat. God damn it.
What?
You're fat. You
what?
need to do something about it.
I'm healthy. I had
It's the same. It's the same thing as having confidence as an alcoholic with 3 or 4 DUIs, right? I mean,
I know what I'm doing.
When we were drinking and drugging, a DUI was a badge of honor. It was like, I got 3 of them. I'm going to court again.
I might lose my license.
It's like, it's like, oh, you have 4 medals on your chest, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like, dude, you got a fucking problem. Thank God you haven't killed someone when you're drinking and driving. Thank God you can still walk and you're still of sound mind. Let's fix it now before it gets any worse.
Before your knees go out or your back goes out. Or
I think we have a whole country that's in denial about many, many things.
Yeah. Like, what you were talking about drinking and driving. I was really pretty good at not doing that because I would actually call and say, I'm a little too wasted. I think I'm going to sleep it off in the, parking lot, or I'm going over to such and such comic's house.
Sleep in the office, bar, or whatever.
I'll sleep it. Yeah. I mean, I did that a lot. A lot of times I would pull my car over and just not drive. Mm-hmm. I got busted in Denver one time. I was sleeping in the car and the cop came over and knocked on the window and woke me up. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, I didn't feel comfortable driving. I just did a show and I was drinking. I didn't feel comfortable driving. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, I could arrest you because the key's in the ignition.
Right.
And I go, but I'm not driving. He goes, oh, no, I understand. He goes, I want to see you take the keys out of the ignition and throw them in the back seat. I want to see you do it. So I threw him back there and he goes, okay, this is my route. I'll be back here in 2 hours. And if this car isn't here, I have your license plate.
All right, let's talk about this. I am not anti-cop.
Mm-hmm.
I am pro-cop. I think there's a lot of great cops out there, but I think we're facing a segment of that population that abuses their authority. And I think that's changed over the years. Whereas that cop that came to and knocked on your window years ago would go, all right, well, just throw the keys in the back seat and sleep it off.
Yeah.
Versus today where he'd have his, his knee on your neck and the other three smacking the crap out of you because you were stupid enough to drink and be in your car.
Sleeping on the side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, being drunk and then taking to my dad's house because I knew he was going to beat my ass.
Yeah.
Driving his car drunk. I mean, there was but, that social part of the system's gone now, too.
Right.
I see, and this is, I'm just going to say this, and I don't care how it sounds, but men should raise children.
Welcome to Remasculate. That's actually the name of the podcast.
Oh, right.
Remasculate. So, no, you were talking about this today because you think that kids need a stronger hand in being raised.
And I told you about the Bernie Mac episode where his sister takes over raising the kids for a week because he goes somewhere and he comes back and she goes, well, what do you guys want for breakfast? Because you don't ask them. You treat them like prisoners. They eat whatever they get. That whole part of the... Listen, you cannot undermine your wife or your husband. You have to be a solid unit. You have to be in that foxhole together against your children, against your mother-in-law, against the fucking IRS, against everybody. You are a fucking unit. That is the only way that works. That's the only way that marriage works.
Well, I've brought this up on here before, and I'm glad you said that, because I think too many people get married today for only one reason. And it could be any reason. We both like to snowshoe.
Yeah.
We met cliff diving. Right. And that's all that's it. And then one day they realize, I don't like the way you talk to the kids. This is the way I do it. Nobody's going through the dating process and the filling out the worksheet of, are we raising them Catholic or Baptist? Okay. Are we spanking or not? Okay. You're a spanker? I am. Well, I'm not. Well, this might not work. You know what I mean?
I went to a psychologist, and the worst thing in a relationship is mind reading and making assumptions. And a course in child rearing and how to treat one another and mortgages and checkbooks and living within your means and all that should be part of that program.
That's what home ec used to be.
Yeah. And because I see a lot of these guys, I was talking to this lady, she just got divorced, and she goes, well, I never saw my husband. And I go, well, where do you live? She goes, in Temecula. And I go, oh, well, it's California.
Yeah.
And she goes, I go, well, did you have a nice house? And she goes, yeah, it's 800,000 and we have 3 acres, and blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, do you work? And she goes, well, no, why should I have to work? And I'm like, herein lies the problem. The reason you never see your husband is because he's breaking his fucking back trying to make the mortgage on this fucking place
that you love,
this castle that you think you're the queen of.
Yeah. And now you're going to complain because you don't see him.
Right. Instead of downsizing, getting a job yourself and living in the real fucking world. There's not enough of that.
Well, my gripe is, and I've said this for a long time, and yes, my wife works, and yes, some people need to work, but I think part of the problem is both people working. Somebody needs to be home. There was somebody.
Well, if that's possible, I mean,
But I think
look at rents, look at mortgages. I mean,
yeah, but that's you choose to live there. This is what it comes, like you were saying. It all comes down to choices.
Right.
Like, do you want to live in the $800,000 home, or can you live smaller? Do you both need brand new cars?
That would involve a candid look at finances, emotions, goals,
yes,
and all those things.
Everything that should have gone into before.
Truthful. Right?
Right.
It's like, I was just with someone for 5 years, and she lived there, and she would get a job and then quit. Get a job, quit. Get a job, quit. Get a job, quit. I can't invest in that. I can't invest in that person.
Because you'd have been the job that was eventually quit.
Right. I mean, if she's that much of a flake, she's going to flake.
One babe.
And not only that, it's one thing to not work and have an immaculate house and have dinner ready or whatever. Yeah. And that could be a male or a female. Whoever is the breadwinner. Whoever decides to do it. Like if you say you want to stay home.
Yeah.
We don't need a 3,500 square foot home. We need a 600 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
And when you come home, I'll have dinner made and the place will be clean. And then we can go.
Weekends we'll ride our bike or we'll go hiking this weekend.
I don't need a freaking Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I don't need
You're seeing exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what, because I would, these people I would go like, well, the kids need new shoes. They don't need Nikes.
No.
They all of them don't need that. They all don't need a cell phone. They all don't need a TV in each of their rooms.
I see a lot of this. In, especially California. I see a family of 6 will come into Starbucks and each one of them will get a $5 mocha latte iced large whatever. I don't even know what they are. It's $50. It's $50.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all wearing the best of everything and blah blah blah, and they don't really have a pot to piss in
because they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. And I think like I said, I don't know how you go about doing this. But I think there should be some kind of course where you go, do you want to live within your means? Do you want to live so that you can save $500, $1,000 a month? You cannot be taking your family to Starbucks and this is before you even went to In-N-Out or the other restaurants that you're going to.
That was just one place you stopped today.
Right. And then you're going to go over to Ross or whatever to buy, no matter what it is. I see. Yeah,
then we're going to Palais Royal and then over to Saks Avenue.
Right. And Chuck E. Cheese, and we're going to do this. And
we'll stop and get the kids burgers because I don't cook.
Well, there you go. There's an epidemic right there. I mean, the amount of money people waste on fast food and restaurants because they're too lazy to cook. It doesn't take a whole lot to cook.
No.
It doesn't take a whole lot of, You
and I, the other day, were talking about Italy, how we both discovered real food in Italy.
Right.
And that was funny that we both said that's where we discovered real food.
Right.
Like, they cook with cream, they cook with cheese, they cook with, the pastas, but none of them are fat.
Remember, I was telling you, when we were kids, everybody had a tomato patch.
Mm-hmm.
And you go out there and get one of those beefsteak tomatoes.
Yeah. Go pull a tomato and a carrot. Get his carrot out of there.
Right. And you slice it and you put it on Wonder Bread with some Miracle Whip and some salt and pepper. And that was a sandwich.
Yeah.
And that tomato tastes lovely.
Yeah.
And the last place I had a good tomato was in Italy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was
straight from the garden.
Tomato.
It wasn't on a tomato farm with, all the pesticides and crap all over it.
Yeah, and that's why I said I would love to see, I think that's part of the problem is people aren't cooking like they used to, so there's a lot of fast food, or they buy things that they do cook that are already prepared.
Mm-hmm.
There's that 15 minutes and this is beer, you're ready to go. Where everybody knows you should buy along the outsides of the store.
Right,
it's always
the perimeter.
The perimeter.
Don't go in the chips and cookie aisle.
Right. Go get, there's the meat, there's the meat over there, there's the milk over there, there's the lettuce and radishes along this wall. And
I think, why do we know that? And nobody else knows that. The common sense of our generation between the greatest generation, which I always thought was bullshit, and the millennials, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I think it's because we waited for things and we
worked for things
and we didn't have a big meal, but we had a meal.
Yeah.
We had fried bologna on, with a tomato and some, and a sandwich, and that was dinner.
Yeah. My dad used to make this dish. It was called mule shoe hockey pie goo. And we'll go, what's in it? He goes, food. It was just like, he would make like ground beef with some macaroni, and there'd be some corn in it. And basically it was just like potluck with anything.
Hobo stew.
Like a hobo stew.
Right,
and my dad called it mule shoe hockey pie goo. And we loved it as kids. Because you put some ketchup or some hot sauce on it or squirt some mustard and, anything. But it was a meal. It was a prepared meal.
Well, when we were kids, everything was basically a variation of ground beef.
Yes. Yeah.
It was meatloaf, meatballs, meat sauce, sloppy joe.
Yes. The spaghetti.
The goo.
Yeah. There was mom would make stuffed peppers, which was stuffed with ground meat.
And a little rice in it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the staple.
Yeah. She made this thing, and I made my wife get the recipe. It's called Barbie cups. And it's, you take, biscuits and you push them down in like the biscuit pan, but you make cups out of it. And then you fill it with ground beef and put barbecue sauce in with it and put cheese on top of it and put it in the oven. Like you just do a whole rack
delicious.
of these things. It's freaking delicious.
Right.
But does it get much more white trash than that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
The thing about it is like when you get married, you start in an apartment or subpar housing.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get a bigger house, and then you have the kids, and you raise the kids, and then you go all the way back to the place that you started. I think the wisdom in life is to stay in that small place and get the kids bunk beds.
Yeah.
And do not buy good shit.
Yeah.
Get a shitty couch. Let them beat the shit out of it so you
jump
don't
up and down on it and I don't
whatever
care.
the fuck you want. And then once they're out of the house, you go, well, let's go to Jerome's and get something nice. Or what was the name of the guy with the
American Furniture Warehouse in Denver?
The guy with Jake Jabs.
American Furniture Warehouse. Yeah. Then we'll go get some.
Well, the thing about it is like people. Nobody needs to come over to your house either, by the way. Here's something else that needs to happen.
They watch Friends too much.
Right. Nobody needs to come over to your house when you're raising kids or for any reason.
Yeah.
Period. Because that's your house, and that way prevents you from comparing yourself to the other people.
Why can't we have a nice stuff like that?
When you go over to people's houses and you're like, it's too clean, and it doesn't look like anybody lives there, and you go, well, something's wrong here.
It's like a model home.
Something's wrong. Do you know what I mean? And then if you dig a little deeper, she's banging the gardener. You know what I mean? Right? You're like, it's too perfect.
There's a bad case of OCD.
There's something, it's just something way out of control. My mom was raised in a Catholic orphanage, so she was very, very meticulous, and it was horrible as a kid. You couldn't,
Don't eat on that. Get off of that. Get your feet off of it.
Get the dishes done right after you burp. You know what I mean?
You done? Rinse them off and get them in.
Yeah, and my grandma was more like, I'll get done, and there might be some grease in the pan, and it might sit there for a few days, and she might make some food in it,
Yeah, she can break it more eggs in that bacon grease.
Right. It's, and it was a lot more comfortable, and hence it's easy enough for me to say that I spent a lot of time at my grandma's house. We had like this special bond, and it was because it was more relaxed. And that's the house that I want to live in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be gross and disgusting. It can be messy, but I don't want it perfect. Yeah, and I don't want it perfect either.
But don't you think, have you found that and I've had people tell me, well, that's just the ignorance that makes people happy. Like, ignorant people are happy, but don't you think...
Well, then sign me up.
Sign me up. But like I'm saying, the people that are country people that sit on the porch and watch June bugs and lightning bugs, they sit out there and blow a harmonica, and the kids shoot a shotgun at a can in the front yard, and they're like, woo!
Remember earlier when I said if I could trade for something? I forgot to mention two things. One is to be able to sleep. Like, close my eyes and fall asleep like these people on the plane.
Right.
Or the people, it's like 8 o'clock, it's time for me to sleep, close my eyes, and I sleep out for 8 hours, right?
I lay there for 2 hours.
And the other one would be to not think.
Just not think at all.
Not think. Like, just be perfectly content to watch the lightning bugs and drink a beer and to be able to drink like a normal person. That was something I would love to be able
Just
to
been
do.
able to have a beer or
A
two.
buzz. I just want a buzz.
Buzz, and then go to bed.
And then go to bed.
I caught a buzz and went to bed.
Instead of driving at 3 o'clock in the morning, I need more.
I gotta have another one.
Might as well get a gram while I'm out.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know.
out of whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that. And I found, too, maybe you'll agree with me on this, is that I'm a genius after 3 beers and 2 shots. I'm a genius. But I can't stop.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Then you have to share your genius.
Well, of course you have to have an audience, you know. But I mean, and maybe one line, right? A line, 3 beers and 2 shots, and I am.
Yeah.
I'm about as wise as any man you'll ever meet. But then it gets retarded.
But I think back now when I was a kid, my dad had the farm, and the things that we would do in summertime that just were very, like riding the dirt bike in the mud
Love it.
Now you think that would be one of the coolest things for kids to do,
We'll play
just grab my
football in the rain.
in the rain. Skimboarding. Remember the skimboard? You take a piece of plywood and just skimboard in the flooded streets.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, you're going to get hurt. Oh, there's
dirt clog fights.
Yes.
Just throwing dirt at each other.
We threw horse poop at each other.
There you go.
Because it dries horse apples.
Couldn't
we would
be
throw those
happier.
at each other.
Couldn't be happier. I wish, and there's a lot of times I wish I could go have an afternoon. I'll go have a 12-year-old afternoon.
I want that's the name of this podcast. I want to have a 12-year-old afternoon.
You know what I mean?
One more time.
Yeah. I mean, those are
nice,
the things.
wouldn't it?
Those are the little things. Yeah, like I'd like to dial into like maybe my first, my first stink finger, my first car that I drove, my first, first time I became sexually aware at all. And I can tell you when it was. It was. I said it was Anne Margaret the other night, but it was actually Tina Turner. I was at a concert. Honest to God, it was Ike and Tina Turner. And she came out and sang "Proud Mary"
and was shaking in that dress.
And she was shaking in that dress, and she, she kind of had her legs apart a bit, and I saw that little muscle right there. She had strong legs.
Yeah.
And I saw that muscle, and I started getting a boner, and I'm like, I think I was like 11 or 12, and I'm like,
really?
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then like I knew, I made the connection.
Women do this to me.
I can name 3 of them. And the other one was Lee Remick in Days of Wine and Roses. Do you remember this?
I live.
And she was drunk, and it was black and white, and she was wearing a slip. Oh, yeah. That was, and then there was one more, and it was
Lee Remick was always
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then it was Spartacus, and no, it wasn't.
It wasn't Kirk Douglas.
Tony Curtis and Laurence Olivier. It was when they threw him in this. Kirk Douglas and I think her name was Gene Simmons, and they were supposed to have sex while all these guys that watched, and I think they threw some water so the guys would leave. But I remember being in a drive-in in my parents' car in the back seat going, oh my God. I actually went, oh my God. And then my mom turned around and go, what do you know about it?
More than you think.
All right, let's talk about this. Did you ever walk in on your parents?
No, never did.
Never?
Never did. Never.
My sister's they used to have like these 75-cent movies down at the theater downtown.
Yeah.
In my town. And
we had a neighborhood theater that my parents would give us. It was 50 cents.
Yeah, on Saturdays.
Give you a coin and go.
Yeah, you could buy a book of them, and they were all like.
Yeah.
And we got a couple of cartoons. Yeah, the whole day.
Spend the day. Because we'd watch the movie again sometimes.
Right. It was a couple of cartoons, and it was like a Raiders of the Lost Ark type movie.
Yeah.
Right. One of those adventure movies, and maybe a space movie or something.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
And, I think popcorn was 3 cents or whatever. But they drop you off the whole day.
And you call me when you're ready to come home. It was that kind of deal.
Exactly. So I went to mow a couple lawns and do my paper route. It was a Saturday. And I come back home, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm watching TV. And my parents said they were taking a nap.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was code for what they were doing. So my sister calls. They must have been in there for, 20, 30 minutes. My sister calls and says, I need a ride, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell Dad. So I walk into the room, and I open the door, and it's like, So...
Who screamed more, you or them?
My mom. My mom the most. Let's just say she was doing something that men like.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
All right. And my dad came out, put his clothes on, and yelled at me all the way to picking up my sister. You know how long it took me to talk her into doing that? You little bastard. You son of a bitch. I mean, he yelled at me. I think he, every once in a while, he'd pop back in his head,
quiet for a minute.
2 weeks later. You son of a bitch.
I'm still mad about that.
Right. But, you don't need, like, I think you talk about it. You don't think your parents are.
Yeah, like I knew they did because.
Well, if you think about it, but if you think about it,
they're humans like we are.
Well, no, I mean, I think my parents had like 3 kids when they were 23 or 24.
Oh,
they're just hitting their sexual peak,
Yeah.
I think I had 2 kids when I was 30.
Yeah, I had my son at 33.
Right. So that's a big gap,
right.
But I remember my mom and my dad were just kind of like, and you couldn't look at them anymore. Like, it took about 6 months, and you're always like, can you pass me the salt?
Your mom goes, come over here and kiss me good night.
No, Mom,
I can't
kiss you. You're
kiss
dirty.
Me good.
You're dirty.
Kiss me good night.
All right, how about this? How about your mom would have, she'd want you to have vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
This is back in the day, but like, let's say she wanted you to have broccoli because that's what you're supposed to do, so you're healthy. But she'd take like a half a brick of Velveeta,
right?
Because she didn't want to eat it either.
Yeah,
right. Everything, and my dad used to make grilled cheese out of Velveeta, which is still the best grilled cheese,
because it
melts.
It's just
going out of the sides.
Oh, I know.
And he didn't fuck around. Like, he would take half a stick of butter and put it on that. I never did mayonnaise on the outside.
No, not on the outside.
On the inside.
Mayonnaise on the inside, then you put the Velveeta, and then you just butter on the outside, so it just all turns into one.
Now, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, as I've gotten older, I would try that. Mm-hmm. But years ago, any variation from what I was used to is like, no, that's fucked up. You don't do that.
Yeah. I see that a lot with kids now that won't eat something because it doesn't look like what they've had before. Like, I saw this at a Mexican restaurant. That doesn't look like a taco. I heard the kids say, that doesn't look like a Taco Bell taco.
Right.
Because, if you get a taco at a Mexican restaurant, it's those big, thick shells sometimes.
The street tacos.
Yeah. And that doesn't look
What's
like...
that green shit?
Yeah, what is that? Like, it's a taco. It doesn't look like a Taco Bell taco. Like, that's what I just want to...
Right. Starve.
Right. Okay, we'll stop and get you something else on the way home.
That drives me crazier than anything. That drives me crazier than anything because my mom, my grandma, all of them, I'm not a short order cook. And if you can starve till tomorrow because there ain't a dinner coming till,
Eat it. My mom, I do my act. Eat it now or you're going to have it tomorrow.
I do my sister and peas, they're at midnight.
Just sitting at the table, staring at...
Crying, and everybody's crying. And
at this point, everybody's crying.
The whole family.
Please just eat them.
You're right. You're like, I'll eat it for her. Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
Right.
I just want to go to bed.
Like, everybody wants to go to sleep and for there to be but they preferred to have this fucking massive tension in the house. This is how I was raised. This is how you were raised. This is how...
And that's why we find common ground.
Right. And the other thing about it is that there was nothing wrong with the way we were raised. Now, there's a few times, like, some of the discipline might have got a little hairy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you're a teenager.
Right.
And my mom was like this because she was raised by nuns. If you scared her and you were okay, she would beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, because you scared her. For scaring
me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you crossed the street and
You almost got hit. You almost...
She beat the living shit out of you for making her heart
I'm okay,
race.
though. Yeah, but you could have been killed.
Right.
Watch where you're going
I
next
did that
time.
once with my brother. My brother, I couldn't get him... I would work with him all day to get him to swim. And he would just, My brother's a genius, but he has no common sense. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just...
A lot of people like that have book learning, but have no comment.
And it was one of those things, they didn't have the rope, but it had on the bottom of the pool, it went down into the deep water, and if you weren't where you were supposed to be, you slid down into,
Deeper.
And I'm like holding on to him, like, oh, come on. And he's, lost my grip, and, I'm not going to... There's a certain amount of self-preservation in me, too.
I'm not
going to dive over this mother. So my mom jumped in the pool and pulled him out and then gave me a beating for probably an hour and a half because I wasn't looking out for my little brother, There's a lot of responsibility being the oldest. It wasn't like you got to slide. I remember, we had to be home by midnight. And KSHE Radio, that was the rock station.
Yeah, in St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
Yeah.
And every Friday night, they would play Somebody Loan Me a Dime by Boss Skaggs. And if I wasn't in before that song started, because I think it was a 15-minute song. And there were just times where I was just like, fuck it, I'm listening to this song.
I'll be home when it's over.
I'd be in the driveway.
Just sitting there.
Just that little bit
just
of...
Just fighting.
Just a little bit of a defiance.
Fighting the authority.
Of course. Like, you and I both have it. Because, like, the other night I go, hey, man, go tell the sound guy that the thing's off. You're like... You give me that look like... You ain't telling me what to do.
What?
Right.
But I did. I went and told him.
Well, it's the same initial reaction. Yeah, like, hey...
What? All right, okay, yeah, you're right.
Right.
You need to be turned off.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I remember at 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that in any way, shape, or form in the past few years?
No.
It's like they don't care where their children are.
Well, this is where the phone becomes a problem again. As much as it's there to keep tabs on your kid, it's easily manipulated. You let your kid slide because you think you know where they are.
Mm-hmm. I tried to call you. Oh, my battery died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 1,000,001 excuses.
They let it. I left it in the car when I got out to go to the movie.
I can email you. I can text you. I can private message you. I can Twitter you. I can call you, God forbid. That's 5 ways to get in touch with you, and yet communication is fucking lost.
Lost.
Completely lost.
Lost.
And on your hand, you have all the information you could ever want or need. You have 60 libraries, literally.
Yeah.
You get any book you want. You can get any YouTube video you want, like we were talking the other night.
How to fix something.
My shower. You can Wikipedia, you can Google, you can do all these things, and yet we've never been more retarded.
Yeah. Well, I have said, that Google has been one of the bad things for the kid-parent relationship, because remember the days when you used to have to call your dad and go, "Hey, Dad, how do you fix that lawnmower?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We used to call our parents for that. "Hey, I'm thinking about getting insurance. How did you know what insurance you needed?"
Well, it's not only that. Not only that, you don't have to retain anything anymore.
You don't have to have it up here.
Your memory muscle is fucked. Like, I mean, 50 girls' phone numbers back when I was single.
Now I can't even remember my own. I have to look up my own sometime.
And you don't really have to retain anything because it's there.
Yeah.
You don't have to reminisce about anything because you can find it immediately right there.
Let me find the picture that I took 10 years ago.
I remember, like, I said this a while back, too. It's like, you'd be sitting around a campfire drinking with your buddies and you get in an argument over a song, who wrote it, and blah, blah, blah. And it went on for hours. And, it was, now it's like, oh, well, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
It was better when you didn't know.
Yeah. I've said that too, that the cell phone has messed up a lot of people's bar lies.
Yeah.
You know, I was at that game. No, you weren't.
You know, there's a lot of, I'm not big on lying, but I'm big on poetic license.
Embellishing a good story.
Exactly.
Embellishing a good story.
Exactly. I used to do this bit about, you tell your friends, yeah, man, about 6 guys came up to me and they had switchblades, and we were going to the car and I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. I had about beat the shit out of 3 of them and then jumped in the car, drove off, and then your girlfriend's there going, there were 3 of them, and the one had a comb.
And one of them was a girl.
And you told them that they weren't nice people, and you got in the car.
He said, I didn't appreciate
the way you're talking or looking at us. And you had me home by 10:15.
That's how I remember the story.
Right. You're like, see, this is why, I don't know if this is even fair, but great authors are usually male because they
can take a story.
They take the story,
embellish it.
They make the bear bigger than it was.
And then the Roman army came over the hill, and it was 80,000 of them. You could see all the way back to Mesopotamia.
7 very gruff men.
It was the face that launched 1,000 ships.
She wasn't very attractive.
Who's telling this story?
Well, I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I do too. Well, Mike, thanks for doing the podcast. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is one of the most fun. This is actually one of the longest podcasts I've ever done. I've had fun. I just looked over and went, "Oh, I need to wrap this up."
All right.
But this was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you, man. And can I say this to everyone out there?
Yeah.
These things that I have us fighting over, these things that they used to separate us as Americans, we're playing into their hands. This is exactly where they want us.
This is what the Illuminati wants.
This is what they want. And we're all going to be obsolete here real soon as workers and as being useful in any way. We're going to have driverless cars, and there's going to be automatic chefs, and there's going to be...
And they're just going to make babies in incubators, and you won't even have to do it anymore.
Your usefulness will be waning completely. Now, what you and I might disagree on is how to go on from here,
or stop it, or slow it down.
But I think, and I will not use the self-checkout, and I will not use the driverless car, and I will not go to the kiosk at the airport and all those things. It's inevitable that that's what's going to happen. There were Zuckerberg and Musk and the other guy from Amazon and Gates. They were talking about how they could single-handedly feed everyone, educate everyone, house everyone, because they're at that point.
Yeah.
And
because they have hundreds of billions of dollars.
And as automation gets worse and artificial intelligence gets better than we'll ever be, we're going to have to decide whether we take care of people or we have complete fucking anarchy. And we can either play into it by fighting one another, or, and I truly believe this, we are a cooperative species, not a competitive species. And I think our cooperation, despite our differences, may save our species.
Ooh, that's pretty deep.
Right? I didn't even smoke any weed or anything.
I like that. I like that. That was good. All right. Well, this is the point in the podcast where I say to you, how do people find you? Are you, this is where you plug yourself. You have your Facebook, then Twitter. Where do they find you?
I don't want anyone to find
You don't
me.
want. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Mike Pace?
Mike Pace Comedy at Gmail.
Okay.
Or Mike Pace Comedy at gmail.com. Yeah.
But you have Facebook.
That's my email, and I got Facebook, and I got...
You have Twitter? You're not on Twitter.
I don't do Twitter. I don't need any more freaking waste of time.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I'm trying to...
You're trying to wean. I'm
trying to just get off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of it.
Well, thanks for doing the podcast.
A pleasure.
And you guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. If you had a good time, please share this with your friends. It's the only way people find out about the podcast because we don't advertise. We're not on big radio stations, so it's all up to you, the fans, to share this all around. So until next time, God bless America, and go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys. I bid you adieu.
Good night.
In the basement of the mud flap house, fluffing and poo, and they're under with the grains and news, and poo licks herself, and flap contemplates manly things. He thinks about guns and trucks and Stooges 3, men and boys, and that doesn't sound right. He thinks about boobs and bacon and power tools. Come with me, let your masculate. Oh, won't you come with me and remind